Hello, everyone. This is Kimmy Wyatt, and welcome to Kimmy in the Kitchen. Y'all, it's 2 something in the morning. It's almost 3 something in the morning. But I thought, okay, let me go ahead and make these gourmet meatballs, and that way I don't have to do much for dinner tomorrow. I can just finish it off. But let me give you guys a tip. If you're dealing with pasta items, such as, even though meatloaf is not Italian, anything that's dealing with tomato based products, such as tomato sauce, tomato paste, even ketchup, if you use ketchup in your recipes or whatever. I can even take pizza, for example. Have you ever had pizza that tastes better the next day than the when it was bought or cooked or purchased? That's just how it is, y'all. So I said, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and make this meatloaf because those flavors are going to just sink really deep into these and um, and be even more delicious. So I'm going to give you um, an up close view of them. Those are mushrooms on top, and there's a sugar glaze. Okay, and I'm fixing to go to sleep. So, you guys, if you're making meatloaf, once you've added all of your ingredients or whatever, you don't, it's going to make the density of it even thicker, or you're going to have more. So don't be afraid to say, oh, this is not enough meat. And, because once you put all the ingredients in there, as you can see, even though you don't know how much hamburger meat I used, um, you can see that it makes a substantial amount. As a matter of fact, I was only going to use this pan, and I had to pull out this one, you guys. Another tip is you guys always opt for ground chuck when making a meatloaf, because if you use crackers, which I do, I use crackers, and you use a meat that's not ground chuck, the the grease from the hamburger meat is going to probably absorb all of your crackers, and your meatloaf is going to flop, basically. It's going to be soft. So if you are going to use a just regular ground beef, try to opt for the 80% or 85% ground beef as opposed to the 70 something. And also, you might want to add extra crackers if you use crackers. I don't know what you guys use, okay? Um, yeah, you might want to go ahead and do that. And I had another tip for you guys. I guess it'll be a pinned comment. Yeah. Oh, how long to cook? It's just hamburger meat. Okay. Oh, back up, back up, back up. Well, let me go ahead and do how long to cook. You don't have to cook hamburger based products, meatloaf, more than an hour and a half. And the reason why it's not, even though it doesn't seem like that long, you guys can tell I need to go to sleep, y'all. Okay. Is because I don't know how you guys make yours, but I use garlic, fresh garlic. I use also onions and bell peppers, and you want those to, and I dice them up myself. You want those to be cooked all the way. You want to make sure my shadow is kind of covering this up. So, yeah, you guys, this is going to turn out really, really wonderful once it turned out great. Looks good without even having heat to it. So I told you guys about using ham ground chuck as opposed to regular ground meat. Also, I don't know if you guys like turkey meatloaf, ground turkey meatloaf. I've tried that, and it's just too soft. It doesn't give the consistency that I like. I don't like I can't stand a hard meatloaf, but I don't want it mushy either. So the my meatloaf normally turns out perfect. Although the last meatloaf that I made, what for me, I did not like it. It tastes great, but it was a flop for me. And that'll happen sometimes, but rarely. I'm trying to remember why it happened. But yeah, this is going to turn out really, really, really wonderful. Okay, so you can combine ground turkey with ground chuck. I've tried it all. I've tried all kinds of ways, and I stick to the ground chuck. And if you can, use ground sirloin, although that's rather expensive. And speaking of expensive, I'm going to be doing a video, and we all need to get together. Ever since Kamala Harris announced that she would be lowering the prices of food, am I the only one that noticed that really, regardless of what store you go to, the food has hiked up like it did for COVID? Although the pandemic is not, I heard it's coming back, but it's not as bad as it was in 2019, 2021, 22. And I'm like, yeah, what's up with that? And so these companies know that we have to eat, and the price is going up. Also, for those of you who receive food stamps, they supposedly went up. Why did the price of food go up as well? So you got people that receive food stamps and they really need these food stamps, and they're not getting ahead because the price of the food is going up, even though the food stamps um, has been extended, not extended, you've a certain amount, I don't know what amount, has supposed to be granted to people. Don't know what state you live in, don't know if that's per state, have no clue. Okay, check if you get food stamps, contact your local department of whatever and find out, what's going on. I have no clue. But two things: food prices going up. And since she announced that she's going to lower food prices, and also it might have something to do with food stamps, because that's usually the poor that gets food stamps. And how can they get a leg up if you're hiking up the prices? Okay. So I'm going to be doing a video or talking about that. I think we should get together and regardless of what walk of life you have, even if you're rich or have money, that's more money that's coming out. And these companies, I'm just going to say Walmart for example. I love Walmart, but I got to throw them under the bus in this instance. And I noticed prices going up at Walmart and another grocery store that I frequent, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you guys have something going on. You guys, please keep in mind, this is the two, 2.5, 3%. Okay. These are the people that have the most money. And if you reside in the US, they have the most money out of everyone in this country. And most of these people are grocers, farmers, and it is what it is. And it's like, you want to eat, but you don't want anyone else to eat. You want us to eat. You want us to keep providing for your family and everything. It's a trade off, but where's our cut? Where's our cut? So, with that being said, one of the things I'm going to focus on, you guys, is when I do this video, is if you live in a home, because I grew up with two gardens. We had two gardens in our backyard. Start growing your own stuff, you guys, even if it's just vegetables. Okay, any amount that you can save, start growing your own items. Okay, and even meat. Did you guys know that you can go to a slaughterhouse, if you live near one in your state, wherever you live? And sometimes it's even worth the trip to go to another city. But some of these companies, it's just stuff in the background you guys don't know. You can get cheaper meat. You know what I'm saying? And buy it wholesale. So, and I know even in the clothing, I know in the clothing industry, the minimum order used to be like $100, or depending on, I dealt with some pretty big time companies. So, um, up to $500, but now across the board, minimum order is $100, and that's clothing. But check out food. as well. Check out how to get food wholesale. Now, the only problem with that is in order to get that discount, you usually have to have a business or something. So, register a business. Maybe it's something you need to do. Okay, so this is Kimmy Wyatt. I may do a video to show you guys the final outcome of this, but I am hungry just looking at this. Okay, uh, gotta go. I think that's it. Yeah. I could put this in the refrigerator. You have an option if you're going to prepare your meatloaf or meatballs or whatever. You can cover them up really tight and put them prepared in the refrigerator, and they're ready to go. Maybe when you get off of work or whatever. But being a gang stalking victim, you guys, I've already told you, just put stuff up. you know, you got to be careful with stuff like this. There's no way that we're going to be able to eat all of this in one setting. So these will be going in the freezer. Okay. The remaining ones will go in the freezer, if not eaten the next day. So, just be careful with that. Although this is not about gang stalking, you guys be careful with leftovers and leaving food in your refrigerator. And so I also have a video coming up, although I've kind of mentioned this in some other videos, of what foods you guys should be taking with you. Now, I have discussed that, like I said, but I'm going to go into an extensive video about what foods you really, if you're gang stalking victim, targeted individual, and if you are a targeted individual, you will be gang stalked. I'm going to go over foods that you really need to be careful, you guys. These are idiots out to kill, and I'm just going to shoot straight from the hip. Just be careful leaving anything powdered foods or grind up foods and I'll go into detail about that later at a later time. So just a couple of things that's going up. Also check out my community on YouTube. I have lots of things there, and I got to post a lot of things, and also a lot of audio. You guys, I have audio that I haven't posted up in just wow. Some items have never been posted up ever anywhere. Radio shows, my new co-host that I had for we didn't know it was going to be temporary, but it turned out to be temporary. So I got a lot of audio to post to you guys. So just like, share, subscribe, comment. Okay. All right. I'm going to go to sleep. All right. Bye. Post your questions, comments below. Oh, and before someone posts, like, what is the recipe? I don't know where the Lord is sending me, you guys, and I do appreciate you guys asking for recipes. I gave this recipe when I was on Facebook, and I specified. Yeah, gotta tell you this. 2 minutes is 12:55 in. I specified to not share this recipe as bulk, like not in a restaurant, or do not make the recipe as a bulk item in a restaurant. Okay, fast forward. I had to go to a building. I had to go to court years ago, and they had a restaurant in the building, downtown Dallas. And I said, okay, let me try this meatloaf. I don't know if it was before court or after court or whatever, probably before court, around lunchtime. And my meatloaf is so recognizable, literally. If you taste my meatloaf next to someone else's and next to someone else's, sitting, taste test, you're gonna okay, that's KimMe's meatloaf right there. And I knew, and they were Hispanics in the back, and I knew when I walked in, before gang stalking, before me realizing rather that I'm a gang stalking victim. That's how long ago this was. When I went in the restaurant, there were Hispanics, there were, in the back cooking and everything. And when they saw me, hindsight, this is in hindsight, when they saw me coming in, I didn't understand why they were looking at me like, you know, like, oh, like there she goes. Had no clue, just brushed it off. I had no clue. But I got a plate with meatloaf as the main entree, and I tasted it, and you guys, it was succulent, and I knew that this was my meatloaf, and I knew, I knew. If you ever taste my meatloaf, you're gonna know that is her meatloaf, hands down. And gourmet, I mean literally. And um, I had to go ask them. I said, where did you guys get the recipe for your meatloaf? Because fast forward, it's mostly Hispanic spying on me. I said, I said, where did you guys get the recipe for your meatloaf? Because it tastes exactly like mine. Now, that sounds like someone paranoid. Meatloaf is meatloaf. This is you guys, if you're thinking this. I knew it was my meatloaf. And I specifically asked them, my fault, shouldn't have posted it. Um, I knew that it was my meatloaf, and I knew that they didn't steal it, but I knew that they had mass produced it for their restaurant, if they owned that restaurant, or for the cafeteria where they cooked. And I was pissed. I was really pissed. And but my fault again. You can post this stuff and tell people not to do this and do that. You got to know who you're dealing with. You got to know what's going on. So never again. So, because there's a reason, I don't know where the Lord is. I know where the Lord is sending me, but I don't know where the Lord is sending me with my cooking. I want to maybe in the future I'll have my own restaurant or something, branded under my name, or under a name. And so I have to keep everything under wraps. So I'm a very sharing person, as you guys know, but someone even asked about my cookies, how to make one of my candies. And I had to tell them, I can't tell you. Okay. From scratch, everything. Okay. Bye. Love you. Got some stuff to post. Okay. Bye bye.